Hello everybody, I'm Emily, welcome back to my channel. So today, I don't know if you can see, I've got my little mini sewing machine with me and we're going to be doing up some clothes. In the past year, especially in the latter, I've been really trying to cut down on my fast fashion intake because I used to be really bad for it, like misguided, pretty little thing, big hauls, all of that stuff, and it's just terrible for the environment and terrible for workers. They aren't getting paid like anything, working in terrible conditions, just so, you know, as the name suggests, it can be fast output, keeping up with the trends, and it's just not good for anyone. And I think there's been a real surge recently in trying to combat that. You know, we've got second-hand shopping, Depop, charity shopping, there's so much we can do, sustainable shopping, to help and do our bit for the environment. So yeah, by filming this today, maybe you get some inspiration to, you know, take a look in more charity shops, shop second-hand, do up some of your old clothes. Please, if you're like professional, don't freak out at my really bad techniques and stuff, you know, it gets the job done and it's just trying to show that it can be approachable for anybody. Okay, first item isn't really like a thrift flip at all, it's just, these are my favourite pair of trousers, these leopard flares, and they've got a hole in, which sucks. If you've never sewn before, I know it can be a bit daunting, but really it's not that hard. There's so many good tutorials online. Just think, like, how many things do you think have been thrown away just because there's a tiny hole in them? So yeah, where the zip's gone, I've just found the threads come loose here, but I can literally see where the thread was, so I'm just going to follow that line with my black thread and sew it up. And there we go, can never even tell there's a hole in my beloved trousers. Okay, so next item I have are these shorts. They're Pop Boutique, but I bought them at a charity shop. And they're kind of cute, but they're a bit like billowy, as you'll probably see on the clips, and I don't know, they're quite long as well, especially now I've ironed them. So I'm going to try to turn this into a kind of skirt maybe. Yeah, I'm just going to snip the crotch out basically. So, okay, now following from that crotch shape, I'm just going to follow the seam that was already down the centre of the short, as you can see this one, and just kind of carry that on in a straight line, pin there, so, and then we'll get rid of this business. So the foot's down and you want to go forwards and backwards for the first few stitches just to lock the stitches in place, and then you can get going. So I just got it on the closest running stitch. Okay, now I'm just going to repeat that process on the back and then I'll sort the extra fabric out. And just cut not too close, but as close as I can. And there you go, a little skirt. I mean, obviously the edge isn't fully straight, but you know, once it's on, because it's like kind of flowy material, we won't be able to really tell. And yeah, I feel like I get a lot more aware of this in summer if we have one as a skirt than shorts, just because the shorts fit a bit weird and they've got pockets, which is an absolute bonus because loads of girls' clothes don't have pockets, which is quite an issue. Okay, so the next item I have is this plain white cardigan. I've made a couple of cropped cardigan tops which you might have seen on my Instagram. I'll put some pictures in of them. For those, I literally just cut the bottom off some cardigans I got at the charity shops and then used Wonderweb or Bondleweb, the iron-on stuff, just to hem the edge up. But for this one, I think I want to make one of those ones that kind of ties. So yeah, it's got a little crop sleeve, but like it's missing buttons and stuff, and I want to attach some longer pieces here so it ties, get rid of all these buttons and crop it as well. So first I'm just going to cut off this kind of rib section, but I'm not going to cut it off all the way, so I've got a bit left to fold over and sew. Yes, these kind of like tie front tops, cropped cardies are really popular right now, so obviously all the big fashion brands have jumped on them, but you know, if we can make our own, why not? But as you can see, I've pinned all along there and I'm just going to sew that now. Okay, so now that edge is looking nice. I'll probably press it very gently with an iron after just to make it a bit straight. So I'm just using my seam ripper and just popping off the threads that are attaching the buttons on, and they're coming off really easily. Okay, so I've chopped all the buttons off the sleeves, I've got all the buttons off the front, and then I've done tiny little stitches just to fill in the buttonholes. You still kind of can see them, but only if you're looking close. So that's all sorted, and I'm going to move on to the ties. So initially I did say I was going to use this, but it's really stretchy and it's lightly to fray, and I was talking to my friend and I realised these, the like hanging loops I chopped off, once they're all straightened out, are pretty good lengths, so I might just use those instead. These are like raw edges, so to make sure they don't fray, I'm just going to lightly singe the edges with a lighter. I don't smoke, but I do have candles, so... Okay, so the ribbons are sewn on. As you can see, quite secure, very secure. They've got a slight dint in which I'll iron out, but that's it finished. Okay, so I'm filming this on a different day, but I've got another top in mind. So I have this flannel shirt I bought for a fancy dress costume that I wore once, and I don't really like flannel shirts, but I have this top, this like Nike top, that I think I got from Blue Rinse in Leeds. It's like reworked and I really like the shape of it. So I'm gonna try recreate this shape on this, but this is a bit flimsy, so I've also got some just like thin cotton to kind of bolt together, so we'll see how this goes. This is quite a big challenge for me because I'm not that skilled, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so the plan is to kind of get this kind of trapezium shape on the back of the shirt, and then for the longer ties I'll use the rest of the shirt and the sleeves and stuff. So I think I'll cut out this back panel first so I don't have all this extra fabric. Okay, so we've just got this kind of back panel now, so I'm gonna trace the shape that I want on here. Okay, now I've got this shape cut out, I'm gonna start working on the straps. Okay, so I've cut each sleeve up into 3 pieces. So I've got 2 thinner pieces, which are gonna go around the neck. I'm gonna connect them together so they're longer. Then I've got the bigger pieces that were like across the shoulder, like on this part of the arm, which are gonna fold in half and make the bits to go around the back. Okay, so I folded the sleeve in half and drawn a line up here that's 5 centimetres and a line down here that's 4 centimetres. So when I cut it out, it'll be doubled, but then it will be this size again when I fold it over and sew. So I've got the rough shape sketched out on both of the sleeves, so I'm just going to cut that out, leaving a little bit extra. So I pinned the strap, but I decided I kind of want the stitching on the outside, cause I just like the way it looks. So I've done that on this one, as you can see the orange stitching. So I'm going to do another stitch at the bottom as well, even though that's folded, just so it looks more neat, and then trim off all the excess as close as I can. So I'm just going to sew 2 of the pieces together, open them up, and then make the neck shape. So I've got a longer piece of fabric. And now I've got an extra long piece to go around the neck, so I'm going to fold it in half and trace out a shape and do the same as I've done for the back straps. And there is one necktie, very nice, so I will get started on the other one. Okay, so I've got the 2 back pieces here and the neck pieces, so I'm going to work on assembling it all together, pinning it a lot, and then sewing it all up. Okay, so I'm going to want to get these to sit in here, but inside on both sides, and so when I sew it I turn it the right way around and they're tucked inside nicely, and same for the back pieces. Okay, so that is all pinned with the straps inside, right sides together. So I'm going to take it and sew around this edge and leave a little gap so I can flip the top out, flatten it out and finish it off. Oh, 2 seconds. Sew the gap up, I'm just going to fold in the raw edges and then do an overstitch. Just to seal it all in, and we are done. So I'm going to give that a quick press on the iron to flatten all the seams out. There's obviously where I filled it, but you can't see from that side, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, so finally I've got this shirt which I bought from a charity shop. I just don't really like it. I thought it'd be cute, but the collar just sits really weird and I don't like it, so I'm going to try and make one of them like kind of bandana tops, but the ones with a high neck that like halter neck and stuff. I'll put a picture in, but yeah, it's also really thin, so I'm gonna have to back this as well. I've cut that back panel out, so I've got a nice big piece of fabric to work with. So I made this amazing design that's falling to pieces out of greaseproof paper. Yeah, it fits quite well. I like where it's sitting. If you're wondering, this is 27.5 by 27.5 centimetres, and I'm like a size 6 on top if you want to replicate this, which I'm not sure you will, we'll see how it turns out. But I'm going to cut that out on this fabric and this fabric, leaving extra room so I can sew with seam allowance. Okay, so I've got the same shape cut out in the like cotton and the silky shirt, so I'm going to start working on the ties. I ended up using one of the front panels, so I have loads of extra fabric left from the sleeves and the other front panel, which I might be able to use in the future. But I have cut up 2 longer strips around the back and 2 ever so slightly shorter strips for the neckties. So I've pinned both the back strips right sides together, so I'm going to sew, make a long tube, turn it the right way out, and then flatten the edges off at the end. Okay, I've made those tubes and I'm going to turn them right sides out, which is going to be an absolute pain because they're so skinny. I've turned them right sides out and I've sewn off the edges, so I'm just going to seal the edges with a lighter really fast and then give this an iron, and also give my fabric an iron before I start pinning it all together and getting ready to sew. So I've ironed everything so it's nice and flat, and I'll get started with the assembly and pinning. I want the back straps to be attached inside the top, whereas for the neck strap I decided that I'm going to make kind of loop at the top of the neck so it's a bit more comfortable. So I'm going to work on pinning all these together, right sides together, with the straps pinned where they should be and then placed inside the right sandwich like I did on the last one. So I've got my big sandwich, everything's right sides together, I've made a mark where the top is, and then I've pinned on the straps so they're sat inside, so when I turn it right side out they'll be nice and attached. Yes, so around nearly all the way, leaving that gap. So after I turn it inside out, I'll work on doing the neck and finishing that off. Oh my god, it looks so good. Okay, so I'm gonna go take my stick and like poke around the edges to pop them out, and then come back to you and sort this top bit out. Okay, so because I changed my mind about how I'm gonna attach the neck pieces, I'm gonna sew these together. So, no, that way. Sew these together so they make an extra long strip to thread through the hole and then tie around the neck. Okay, I've really shoddily sewn that top bit, so I'm going to fold it over to make a loop, and I think I'm going to try hand sew it because I don't want it to go through to the front, so if I can just catch this back layer that'll be a lot better, but I'm going to have to hand sew it really well. Okay, so I've made that loop and now I'm going to thread the long neck piece through that I sewed together. Okay, I'm just pressing those seams with the iron. So I've tried it on and I don't think it needs a top stitch, I think I might ruin it. I really like how this looks as it is, so yeah, this one's finished. That was the end of my video. I really hope you enjoyed this, a bit different of a video for me. I really enjoyed fixing up all my clothes, and I do have a couple more projects in mind, so I might make another one of these if you enjoy it, I don't know, but yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe, like, follow me on Instagram and stuff, and stay safe.